7 seconds. No oxygen. No warning. What breaks first? Our engines, our cities, or the moment the air comes roaring back? Imagine you're outside on a perfectly ordinary day, and the world performs an impossible trick. 21% of the air, the oxygen, disappears. Not for minutes or hours, not forever. Just 7 seconds. That's shorter than most phone calls, but because oxygen is woven into nearly every machine and biological process we rely on, those 7 seconds ripple into surprising places. First, the human body. You breathe in, but the air you take into your lungs is missing that life-giving gas. Your chest fills with nothing useful, a dry, empty gasp. Yet you probably won't pass out in those 7 seconds. Hemoglobin and dissolved oxygen already in your blood buy you precious heartbeats. In short, the direct physiological effect on a healthy adult is brief and often survivable. But survival is only the start of the story. Remove oxygen from the atmosphere and you instantly cut the air's ability to support combustion. Flames need oxygen, so candles and fires go out mid-flicker. Internal combustion engines that rely on oxygen to ignite fuel will stall. Jet engines require a steady combustion process. Without oxygen, they lose thrust almost immediately. At cruising altitude, a jet that briefly loses engine power must deal with an emergency. Pilots can glide, but sudden simultaneous power loss across engines creates a high-stress scenario, especially during takeoff or landing when margins are razor-thin. There's also a mechanical side. Stripping 21% of the air reduces effective pressure almost instantaneously. That change, felt as popping ears and sinus pain, can stress fragile assemblies, rattle windows, and unsettle sealed equipment. It's not enough to tear buildings apart, but it adds to the shock and increases the chance of accidents. Now imagine this happening across cities, highways, airports, and factories at the same time. Many cars will stall, some drivers will panic or lose control, producing collisions. Airliners might lose power briefly, many will glide to safety, but some could face catastrophic consequences if the event occurs in a critical phase. Industrial processes relying on controlled combustion or specific gas mixtures may falter or trip safety systems. The next 7 seconds, when oxygen returns, are potentially the most dangerous. While oxygen is gone, vapors from fuel, uncombusted gases, and hot smoldering materials can gather unnoticed. When oxygen floods back, those pockets can ignite explosively. Systems that were briefly starved of air can experience thermal shock and uncontrolled reignition. What looked like a blessing, fires going out, can become the trigger for scattered, violent flare-ups. Hospitals are a special concern. Patients on ventilators or other life support systems depend on a continuous supply of oxygen. Although many medical systems have redundancies, not every backup will switch perfectly in a universal, instantaneous event. For vulnerable patients, even a brief interruption can be critical. What about oceans and underground systems? Fish and marine life breathe dissolved oxygen in water. A 7-second atmospheric blackout barely registers. Sealed underground spaces will feel pressure transients, but the short duration limits direct biological harm. Electronics and most materials don't care about a temporary lack of oxygen. Chemistry doesn't unravel in 7 seconds. The real threat is secondary. Crashes, infrastructure failures, and explosive reignitions. Put bluntly, a single 7-second disappearance of atmospheric oxygen would not end life on Earth. Most healthy humans would survive the direct respiratory effect. The real casualties would come from domino effects, stalled vehicles causing pileups, aircraft emergencies, medical device interruptions, and explosive reignitions when oxygen returns. Damage would be patchy and chaotic, concentrated around airports, highways, power plants, and hospitals. Now imagine the event repeats unpredictably. Engineers design systems for continuous oxygen presence. Repeated 7-second blackouts would force a complete rethink of combustion systems, aviation procedures, medical backups, and urban planning. Reliability would plummet and routine activities could become hazardous. That's the sting of this thought experiment. Oxygen is invisible because it's constant. Pull that constant out for 7 seconds and you discover how many levels of our world quietly rely on it. It's not dramatic enough to vaporize the planet, but it's unexpectedly dangerous in the ways machines, hospitals, and our daily infrastructure can fail around a single missing element. If that shocked you, hit subscribe and ring the bell. We drop a new impossible what if every day. Don't miss the next one.